We've seen the disastrous one-on-one interview Biden did. I've seen snippets of that on this station, so I'm not going to replay those. Don't worry about that. But what we saw was just the tip of the iceberg. Let's take a look at 6 verifiable lies told by Biden in that interview, as detailed very, very helpfully by the Daily Mail. Lie 1. Biden said there was no way to leave Afghanistan without chaos ensuing, but only 6 weeks earlier, he said the Taliban takeover was highly unlikely. Remember that big speech he gave? Nonsense. Lie 2. Biden said the Afghan army is 300,000 strong. Close, Joe. It's only 178,000. Biden said the US doesn't have a military presence in Syria. In fact, it does. It's still got 900 troops there again. Who's advising him? Lie 4. Biden said he can't recall military officials suggesting he keep the stable 2,500 troop presence in Afghanistan, though reports show Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman Mark Milley made exactly such a request. Lie 5. Biden said US has control of Kabul airport, though Taliban fighters, and I think we've got some footage of it here, have formed a wall around the airport and are controlling who goes in and out. Maybe we don't have footage, but trust me, the footage is not pretty. 6. Biden said no one is being killed in Kabul at Kabul airport, though the Taliban has killed at least 12. And that's just 6. I'm going to go through that interview myself, and though the Taliban has killed at least 12. And that's just 6. I'm going to go through that interview myself, and I'm confident of finding at least half a dozen other lies.
In the last 2 years, my administration has cut the deficit by more than $1.7 trillion, the largest deficit reduction in American history. Under the previous administration, the American deficit went up 4 years in a row. Because those record deficits, no president added more to the national debt in any 4 years than my predecessor. Nearly 25% of the entire national debt that took over 200 years to accumulate was added by just one administration alone, the last one. Well, they're the facts. Check it out. Check it out. How did Congress respond to that debt? They did the right thing. They lifted the debt ceiling 3 times without preconditions or crisis. They paid American bills to prevent an economic disaster in the country. So tonight I'm asking the Congress to follow suit. Let's commit here tonight to the full faith and credit of the United States of America will never, ever be questioned. Some of my Republican friends want to take the economy hostage. I get it, unless I agree to their economic plans. All of you at home should know what those plans are. Instead of making the wealthy pay their fair share, some Republicans want Medicare and Social Security to sunset. I'm not saying it's a majority. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. Let me give you, anybody who doubts it, contact my office. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you, I enjoy conversion. I'll give you a copy of the proposal. That means Congress doesn't vote. Well, I'm glad to see you. No, I tell you,
Shalom Yasharala. All praises and glory goes to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and salutations unto the elect and feeding the sheep of Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, sincerity and truth with this great gospel. And this lesson is about how Esau's kingdoms continuing to fall. It gets more and more divided every time that these devils go on television and try to get a point across, right? A state of a union being interrupted by cave whores, Edomite bitches, right? Calling the president, the so-called president, a liar, right? And you've seen in the video, it speaks about all the lies of Joe Biden, Joe Biden. Joe Biden is an Edomite, and Edomites' words are not to be taken for truth. They're not to be taken for truth. Not to be taken for truth, because these devils, that's how they got what they have, right? Through deception, through lies, violence. Don't forget the violence. And right now, they're so separated amongst themselves, right? To the point it's the people can see it. It's clear as day. It's clear as day. You see them with the red, the blue. They play the color games on you people, right? This time they had the Republican in blue, the House Speaker, and then they have Democrat in red, whatever that Kamala whole name is. So they be playing mind games with you people, man, because they know the people in this society is dumb. And they give you a broad in the crowd who look like she just came from a party with a big fur coat on, calling the president a liar. Calling the president a liar. I'm going to read this in Matthew 12 and 25. It says, and Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. Shall not stand. That's why it's so hard for them to get things accomplished in this society, because they're divided. They can't get enough votes to get certain laws passed, certain things done. Right? So nothing is happening. Nothing is happening. Their kingdom, this is the downfall of the Esau Edom, the devil. And one thing we know, that you cannot take this man's word for truth, right? This is the devil. How you gonna believe what the devil tell you? His own people don't believe words that are coming out of his mouth, right? Anytime an Edomite speak, you know he's lying. What it says, Edomite babies, Edomite old men, Edomite middle age, it don't matter what age they are. You can't trust the word coming out of these devils' mouth, man. It says, video, Biden says U.S. economy is strong after job reports, right? We're going to keep going into all these different lies. Biden says economy is good. America doesn't agree, right? America doesn't agree. That's why the lady called him a liar. Biden says economy in good shape despite GDP, right? Despite the graphs, right? Because they look at these different graphs and figure out, man, things are not working out. We got to try something different. And everything points to what? America hasn't been doing good in a long time. A long time. We're looking for a long time. I read the book of Job 13 and 4. But ye are forgers of lies, right? That's all this man's going to give you, right? State of Union speech, right? Then George Bush had one time talking about weapons of mass destruction. They're over there killing kids. They're doing bad. We need to go over there and liberate the people. And we fast forward to now, what's happening over there? The motherfucking killers done took over the cities. Right? They went over there, got what they needed. They done took some gold, took some natural resources, and left the people to die. Same thing in Afghanistan, same thing in Iraq. Right? We could go to all these different countries that Esau went into to so-called help the people. What happened? Panama. Motherfuckers went in there and robbed the country and left the people to starve. Right? That's why you can't take this man's words for face value. I'm gonna read it. It says, Job 13 verse 4, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are physicians of no value. In other words, this man, their help is not help, right? Their assistance is not assistance, because their real purpose is what? Destruction. Their real purpose is to destruction. I'm gonna read Habakkuk 2 and 6. Shall not all these take a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And one thing we know, that there's so much debt going on, right? If America was doing so great, it wouldn't be so many businesses closing, it wouldn't be so many homeless people, it wouldn't be so many foreclosures, right? Houses for sale. People can't even afford to buy a home, right? You had these criminal mortgage companies that would set up these bogus loans. That shit got crushed after that. It wasn't too many people buying too many homes because these people can't afford it. They can't afford it. I'm read it again. It says, Habakkuk 2 and 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How did these devils get power? By increasing things that are not theirs, man. We can start with this land. The Americas, right? Americas is stolen property. What else? The people they brought to work here in the Americas, stolen property, right? Their whole system is sought under a false vibration. Under a false vibration, I'm gonna read it. It says, a robbing vibration, a thieving vibration, a force of the sword vibration. And a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, and how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And when you go in that thick clay, it's debt, right? How does this society thrive off of your debt? Because all you're doing is paying interest. Interest in what? If you can't afford to pay it, they take your shit. It's like they done took your homes, right? They done took your homes, they done took your cars, repoed your cars. Fucking took back certain shit you done bought and came and took that shit from your ass. It's a lot of Jakes living in pure poverty due to what this system, because this system is not set up for you Israelites. The rich gets richer while you poor motherfuckers get killed. That's the only thing happening right now. You niggas is dying, right? And Joe Biden and his homies, they getting richer. They getting richer. This is James 5:1. It reads, go to now, ye rich men. Weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten, right? You have these means, they behold these counsels. And it's really about how to continue to keep what their wealth and how to continue to keep you motherfuckers working for them, right? Because you are the slaves and they are what? The masters. The masters, and they got masters above them, the elites. And above the elites is the devil, Satan. But who's Satan taking order from? The Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It's these devils' time to rule. The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, so hey, the wicked has to do his thing. One of his main things is stealing and taking, persecuting, oppressing, right? I'm going to read James 5:1 again. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten, right? Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be witnessed against you, and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped up treasures together for the last days, right? Because these devils think, hey, why you think so many of them close down their business? They see no more money to be made. They done heaped up that treasure. They finna get ghosted, right? They about to flee and go to other countries because they know what's coming to America, a time of darkness, a time of gloominess, right? A time of pure fucking despair, man. There ain't gonna be no help. Ain't gonna be no help. First off, ain't gonna be no motherfucker around the world sending no money to America to help out America. Just like, people in America send money to help their foreign family members in other countries, or America goes to assist. Ain't gonna be no assistance. Ain't gonna be no assistance coming to you motherfuckers. Ain't gonna be a GoFundMe set up in Mexico for a family in California. Hell no. The Lord ain't gonna give. The Spirit gonna be like, they gonna be happy to see the despair, right? Because they gonna know, they gonna be like, man, that's a judgment of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. When they see the plagues, even in the Bible it says, when they see they shall hiss when they see the plagues that the Lord's about to unleash on this place, man. Poverty, right? Starvation, violence. That's another thing. Violence on a whole nother fucking level. That movie shit and beyond. Right? It says, behold, the hire of laborers who have reaped down your field, which is of you kept back by fraud, right? And this is a fraud society. Right? You're supposed to get paid the same day. Right? Whatever they pay you, you're supposed to be getting paid double that pay for that job you're doing. But these devils, they keeping your money, they investing it and getting more and giving you what? Change, chump change, which is of you kept back by fraud crieth, and the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabbath. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth. What? Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter, right? That's how these devils live, right? They don't give two damns about the fucking people. They got richer. When you look at how much money Nancy Pelosi made that last year, or Joe Biden, don't look at how much they paying him as for a president. Look at how much money he made. Imagine the money Obama made, Bush made. Imagine the money Bush made. Boy, he kicked that war off. Lockheed and Martin making all these weapons. They setting up shop overseas, different countries and all this shit, man. Them niggas became gazillionaires overnight through what? Through what? Beef, through drama. So this is how they move. This is how they operate, man. All wars is of whose wars? The bankers' wars. And they trying to get that money in the bank. Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departed not. Hey, man, that speaks for itself. Woe to the bloody city, man. This is a bloody, violent city, right? If you don't bow down to their democracy and what they're bringing to the table, it's most likely you might have a war break out in your country, right? Your fucking airport might get destroyed, some within the infrastructure, some might happen to your society if you don't go along with these devil's ways, because this is the wicked, right? The Bible said through his sword he shall live, and that's how he's living. I'm gonna read Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies, man. And you know that the goddamn president is a motherfucking liar, a tale teller, right? There's no truth in him, like the Bible said. He was a liar from the beginning, right? There's no truth in him. Woe to the bloody city, it is full of lies and robbery, the prey departeth not. And what we waiting on the Lord to what? Deliver us from the hands of these liars, right? these forgers of lies. I'm gonna read the book of Proverbs 29:7. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. Yeah, they don't give a damn about you poor ass Israelites. I'm gonna read it again. Proverbs 29:7. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. Yeah, they don't care about what's happening in your society, Mr. Black man, Mr. Hispanic man. They don't care if you're living in a poor state. They only want to make sure that, yeah, man, keep that money coming, keep them taxes coming, keep your children going and following that system, right? Keep chasing this dream that doesn't exist, this make-believe ass dream, right? Because as long as you're chasing that dream, it's keeping them on top, right? It's keeping their society going. It's keeping their system going, man. And a lot of you people, you don't fell victim to what lies and deception. Proverbs 29:7. The righteous considereth the cause of the poor, but the wicked regardeth not to know it. Regardeth not to know it. He don't give a damn. But they be holding these little State of Union like they're here for the people. Like they're here for the American people. We're here to make sure that this country continues to get. They only here to keep the government going. They're here for the best interest of the government. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. I'm reading Proverbs 22:7. The rich, what does it mean? They ruling over the poor. They're not here to be equal with your asses. That's why they live in that side of town. You live on this side of town. That's why they driving and flying like that. That's why you ain't got no car. You probably on the bus, on the public transportation, homeless, on a bike, right? Most of these Americans right now are living in pure fucking poverty. These politicians, they get richer and richer, right? The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender. Who you think lending you? These elites. These elites, man. The people who's running the show, right? You're in debt to them. You then became borrowed. You then became a servant to the lender. Through what? Through debt, that thick clay we talked about earlier, right? They set up a system that keeps them going as long as you owe them. And you'll never be able to repay them because they don't put that interest, man. And that's the society you live in. But you trust in it.